we're back. Episode 2. We're going to be reviewing the... What show is this?
The reunion of Love is Blind.
Love is Blind, Season 6 reunion.
Our last episode, if you're just tuning in, was a recap of the entire season prior to the reunion.
Yeah, you guys already know who it is. Let's get into it. So starting off, they opened with... Who was it? Jeremy and Sarah Ann. Bum, bum, bum.
Did they open with that? Or?
I think that's kind of the first thing they talked about, wasn't it?
The first major thing.
Yeah, it was the first, after their... They had a lot of, random peanut gallery people about, oh, this person from this other show and other season that, we didn't watch that. But, weird that they were there just to fill out time. It didn't need to be an hour and 45 minutes or however long it was.
Was it really that long?
I think it was.
No, it was not.
I think it was.
I don't think it was.
Okay, well...
I think it was maybe an hour. Maybe. I'm not sure. But,
okay.
Anyone could look this up, and I could be wrong.
Okay, well, yeah, let us know in the comments how long the show was.
I really don't remember it being 2 hours.
Well, hour 45.
I really don't think it was that long.
Okay.
Because we watched that during dinner on a weekday, so...
Oh, I thought we split it up into 2 parts.
No, we did not.
Okay.
We definitely watched it all at once.
Well, anyway... So what do we want to say about Jeremy and Sarah Ann first? Because I don't think anything was said that needed to be said.
Yeah, I mean, Laura got her moment.
That was great.
Which was good. I'm happy for her.
Just rolling her eyes so hard you could hear it.
She was really enjoying it, which, fair enough. But yeah, people came down way harder. Again, in the reunion, people were coming down way harder on Sarah Ann than Jeremy.
Yeah.
Which, I get why people are hating on Sarah Ann, but let's focus on the real villain here.
It's all his fault. Yeah. He's the one who caused the whole mess in the first place. And maybe he didn't kick enough rocks with his open-toed sandals. But they made them both out like they planned this out and mwahaha. We are just going to steal away together on our jet skis and gallop off into the sunset and then show up, booyah, in everyone's face at the reunion. Oh, they're still together? Oh, they were doomed to fail because their origin story is in scandal.
Yeah, so Sarah Ann definitely suffers from some pick-me syndrome. Mm-hmm. But she's not evil.
And he's not evil.
Yeah.
They're both just, impulsive and stupid.
Right.
I'd put for Jeremy. Short-sighted and dishonest and no integrity and bad dresser.
What do you think of Sarah Ann's look at the reunion? Because this has been a topic on social media.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I retained much of an impression from that. I think, she had way too much chest glitter for one.
She had a lot of glitter
She was bling bling Las Vegas glitter going. And I think that is obviously compensatory to the situation of fire that they're walking into. So it's if we're going down burning, we might as well look good doing it.
I'm impressed they actually came at all to reunion, honestly.
Yeah.
But a lot of people online have been saying, have you ever seen 13 Going on 30 with Jennifer Gardner?
No.
A lot of people are comparing her look to Jennifer Gardner's look in 13 Going on 30. And I'm not going to say it's inaccurate.
Well, could you describe it for those of us who may not be privy to that, who may have capped out at the 17 going on 70 or whatever it was, the Zac Efron, the remake.
Imagine a 13-year-old waking up in a 30-year-old's body.
Okay.
And putting on all the body glitter and prom dress and...
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a child's impression of what fancy adults dress like.
I mean, it's cute, but it's a look. And it's a kind of an early 2000s look that is not super relevant today.
Oh, oops. Well...
But yeah, I mean, not to drag Sarah Ann, because I feel like she's been dragged too much already. Bold move coming on the show, the reunion.
Yeah, not to drag her or anything. I mean, if anyone needs dragging, he's the one who needs dragging because he, again, messed up in the first place and didn't, like you said last episode, if you're going to cut it off with her, it ain't going to take you until 5:30 in the morning to do so. Yeah. And then to show up all smug, both of them at the reunion, guns blazing against any amount of criticism. Okay.
Right. So another thing that social media has brought up is that Laura was just super mean to him. She pushed him into Sarah Ann's arms, et cetera, et cetera.
I don't...
Thoughts on that?
I don't buy that. I mean, if you're really... You could dig into anything because every viewer out there has the same amount of limited information that's presented on the show that actually makes it to the final edit. So, yeah, we don't know exactly what goes on when the cameras aren't there, which really should have been a great disclaimer at the start of the episode, but man, I don't know if I buy that. It's yes, she was really I want to say like domineering. That sounds kind of, that's not quite the word I'm looking for, but probably controlling, and like she had expectations that were too high, which is, what I said last time, that he should just be exactly what she wants. And I don't know, maybe he did give her more pause than we saw, and she wouldn't have been so bitey and insecure about like, oh, tell my family how you want to be with Sarah Ann, or like, let me pick at your Hawaiian shirts, if he was giving her all the right indicators.
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't perfect. She was kind of a mean girl, whatever.
Kind of the same thing with Jimmy. It's like she wouldn't be asking if you would just like be properly behaved with her.
I think it comes down to like the way he handled that situation, which was wrong.
Okay.
Like if he was like, hey, you're actually being kind of shitty to me and I don't think I want to do this if you're going to be like that. I'm going to go talk to Sarah Ann and been straight up about it. That's one thing.
Right.
But according to her, he acted like he wanted to work it out and be with her literally up until coming home at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, at that point was evidence enough for her to be like, even if I'm making any assumptions here, I'm going to round all of them up and you're now dead to me.
Yeah, so let's move on from them because they got so much time during the reunion and we should move on to Trevor.
Oh, gosh. Trevor. Oh, they did him. I mean, not that he's not responsible, but they did him way dirty.
Have you ever seen someone have a complete breakdown just in their eyes before? Like
Twice.
Just in their eyes.
Twice. It was like, oh my goodness, like 47 literal, like actual seconds of.
Oh my God. Poor guy. Like he got it together, actually. Like I'm kind of impressed, like regardless of like. I'm impressed that he actually had words after that because you could see his brain was literally breaking in those moments.
Hamster going on his wheel was not having it. You're dinging so much.
I'm sorry, I'm having a drink.
Okay.
The listeners will understand. All 2 listeners that are you and me will understand.
Yeah, you and me later on in the future.
Will understand that I'm having my drinky drink.
What was it that was asked that prompted it? Oh, it was his secret, like up until the week before, but still kind of, waiting around for him girlfriend in the real world, which is what we call just in normal life, civilians like us. But that he did in fact have a girlfriend waiting for him off the show, which is odd how they got those screenshots. I want to know who leaked them.
Yeah, people are saying online that it was his girlfriend.
Okay, your idea was that Nick and Vanessa confiscate everybody's phones at the expense of like, okay, you also have to give us your passcodes so we can see if drama comes in that we can sprinkle in later.
Who knows? Because the real villain in all of this is Nick Lachey.
Yeah, a little wannabe Simon Cowell pot stirring sort of like. Also, like whatever, like he and Rob Lowe must have the same plastic surgeon because their eyes are done exactly the same.
Yeah, I think like Nick Lachey acting like this is real people's lives. Do you think this is just for entertainment? Is a bunch of bullshit because he is the real mastermind.
Yeah, it's like this is all your idea, man.
He is putting on not only Love is Blind, but The Ultimatum, Perfect Match, and...
Yeah, he's got his hands in all sorts of pots about messing with maybe not the brightest group of impressionable young 20-somethings who haven't done a lot of self-reflection and who aren't that super secure with themselves or their relationship history. So they get suckered into, I don't know how they screen these people.
I think as long as they're hot and can promise some strong personalities.
I mean, I could fit the second criteria there. Or criterion.
You could fit both. What are you talking about, babe?
Hush. Babe. I swear there's got to be a questionnaire associated with these that like whatever algorithm has to happen to select these people, like it's always like this toxic, watchable, discussable mix of people. But I don't know, maybe people aren't that different and this would work with any old ragtag group of misfits that
I think it would. If you're young enough, hot enough, and single, there's going to be some drama. You're
going to be able to get your mind messed with by Nick Lachey.
Absolutely.
And company.
Absolutely. And I mean, we're watching Perfect Match now, season 1.
From 23.
Mm-hmm. And that just proves your point, honestly.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, I mean, this show...
It's a disaster.
Not to get too into Perfect Match, because we're not talking about that right now.
Right.
But this exemplifies everything about every other dating show, like an accelerated...
meaningless, forced connection.
Yeah.
And then, because anytime the format is such that if you're not coupled up by the end of the night, you have to pack your bags and go. And so anytime it's crunch time, literally, that's the whole premise. which is like what's being shown
and
here.
It's people who are all already semi like letter B famous. Like
not
you're
even
not
that.
A
it's
class
like,
famous.
yeah,
What is the word I'm
you're
looking for?
Netflix famous, I guess.
You're reality show famous.
Insofar as how many people like bothered to keep following you in the 2 or 3 weeks after they started, after your segment on the show aired, if you were even that remarkable of a character, or like if you continue to have a brand endorsement deal, which is I think the real winners of all these shows. But yeah, it's anytime it's crunch time, it's like, I've been thinking, and I actually really do think you're a good match for me. So what do you say? You want to couple up? Anyway, yeah, great show, Nick Lachey. It doesn't even have a premise. At least Love is Blind is like, we have like a loose theme here that we're going to explore in a really rushed and superficial way. But this is real like psychoanalysis that's happening here.
I mean, is it?
I mean, I don't think that he thinks it is, but like the intensity with which everything is presented makes it seem certainly high stakes. Looking at you, background music and sound effects.
Yeah, and I mean, he came down on Sarah Ann for posting a TikTok about how this is entertainment.
Oh, right. Where he's like, what are you doing?
Are
you trying to disrupt the illusion of the show?
He's literally making a living off of this being entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
At the expense of everybody, which is like an added like ding against him. Yeah, like I didn't see that video until they showed it, but like what does she mean by that? That it was just a game, you guys, and we're winning.
Yeah, no. She was like, "Are you not entertained?"
Okay.
Who is it that says that? That's on some show.
Are you not entertained?
Is that Bane from Batman?
This is Sparta. I don't know. That's like the same.
Whatever. Same energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Bane. Bane's the one who talks like this. Is that correct?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not totally sure though.
Well, who knows?
An old reference.
Who knows? But anyway, yeah. I just wanted to say that I guess my only takeaway from her video is trying to like maybe regain some social leverage on like for judgment about like I'm sure in the NDAs you sign for these shows you can't come out and say afterward that like no, it's all scripted and we were told to do this, or like we rebelled against the wills of the producers and kind of struck out on our own. Like, I think that's kind of what she was trying to say. Like, no, we really did have more control over the situation than might have been presented. But I don't know. It was a weird thing to do, and it didn't really fit in with anything else. And I guess they kind of moved on from it quickly, too, after he scolded her. Yeah. Because she didn't have an answer for it either.
I really don't know what her motivation was for that. I think she's just trying to save face.
It's kind of a desperate move.
I think that she knows she's kind of been villainized, and she's trying to spin it in whatever way makes her look okay.
Yeah. And I guess, like, oh, this actually was all fake, or...
Maybe.
Or like an element of it was fake, or something is like, yeah, nobody actually got their heart broken. This was all, I don't know.
Or, I mean, just de-seriousify it.
De-seriousify it?
Yeah.
To trivialize it.
Right.
Okay.
Right. To some degree, because, yeah, I mean, people are dragging her as a homewrecker, but I think she's just like, was it a home? Was it even a home that I wrecked? Because it hadn't really gone anywhere.
It was a Netflix situationship. That's
right. I think
there's no integrity in that.
I think that is the only ground she has to stand on, honestly, because she did DM a guy who was engaged.
Yeah, for all intensive purposes.
Right.
Porpoises.
Right.
Like dolphins.
But again, in her defense, if he hadn't left the door open for her and she didn't think she had a chance.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, she wouldn't have done it. Which is not excusing it. She should have waited. But Jeremy is the real villain.
Yeah.
And let's move on from that situation because it's gotten way too much airtime.
Then we are decided.
Right.
Okay, who's next?
Let's talk about
we were talking about Trevor.
Get talked about. Oh,
we were talking about Trevor.
Trevor.
Yeah.
Poor guy. I mean, kind of.
So yeah, Trevor.
Look who's come out.
Oh, Lucy.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi, Lucy.
Okay. Trevor. In his polo and jeans.
They purposely like, oh yeah, Trevor, welcome. You want to come to the reunion show? Like the dress code, super cash, like, just show up. And like, he regrew out the mullet and had like some kind of Wolverine looking mutton chops kind of thing. He looked like a hot mess, but then they made him even hotter by like putting him in the hot seat about his scandal off the show. Mm-hmm. And
he really
showing the screenshots, and he just froze all the way up.
He really looked like he did not expect that to happen.
Yeah.
Which makes you wonder, what did he think would happen in his polo shirt?
I think he thought
What did he think would happen?
I don't know. They must have kept him isolated from everybody. Like, kept him in a green room or something before, or told him like an hour later to show up than was necessary. But yeah, for them to like impose that power differential on him to then come out and just get scolded and he had no idea. I think he thought he was going to talk about like, oh yeah, I was really connecting with what's her face?
But did he really think?
What's her name?
Honestly, Chelsea. He's seen reunions. What did he actually think was happening when he showed up in his polo shirt?
I think he thought his, relationship was under wraps and he was going to come get pats on the back about Chelsea and like underdress because, you weren't exactly a major player, but you did have like a sympathetic moment. But no, turns out.
This seems unrealistic to me.
You do?
Yeah, because he's seen other reunions. He knows the dress code. He knows the vibe. Did he really think they wouldn't have this dirt on him?
He acted like he had no idea.
He really did.
So he must have not.
He froze in a most believable way.
I know. And the poor hamster on his hamster wheel of his brain, just like working at maximum capacity.
Yeah.
And he cannot think of anything redeeming to say.
His brain broke.
It just shut off. And he's just like,
can I leave?
You know what? I need therapy. I'm a really toxic person.
Props to him for being like, I know, I'm super toxic.
I know, I am
lot
extremely
of
toxic, as we all can see. And just like, as enormous as he is, he's taken up like 3 Chesterfields worth of sofa space. And he's just like trying to shrink as small as possible. You can see just like his heart going, what do I say here?
Yeah.
I guess I'll fall on the sword.
There was no way he could have gotten out of that.
I'll take the Clay route and just say, I am actually a really bad person. I should not be around humans. Lock me up as I go get therapized. And this will never happen again, and I'm so sorry.
I do believe him, though, that he was like, I went on the show, I wanted to not be with this person that I was in a situationship with, and I was going to commit to, at least in his short-term mind, he was planning on committing to whatever he found at Love is Blind. So in that way, he wasn't being completely dishonest. Really, his biggest wrong was to whatever girl this is on the outside.
Oh yeah, what's that? And she seemed to be cool with it in the text conversation.
Yeah, she seemed to be relieved that he hadn't found another match and he was going to come back to her.
But like, if he had, would she have just waited around for him?
That's a super problematic situation that I don't think we can even speculate about.
Yeah.
Because we don't have any information about them aside from these text messages when she immediately took him back.
That's just horrible.
On like both his and her part.
For everybody.
Yeah, that looks really fucked up. And he was super admitting, like, yeah, I know how this looks, and it is just that bad. Like,
do you
it
think
is.
he meant that though?
Meant what?
That he knows he has problems, or do you think he doesn't care and just said that to save face? And like, because then he was like, "Can I go?" Like, just asking, like, "Can this just end, please?"
I think it's pretty obvious that he knows he has issues.
Okay, whether or not he's going to do anything about them is a mystery right now. Okay, it looks like we have a viewer comment now.
Viewer comment says, first 8 times I heard Kenneth speak, of like 9 times he did speak, it sounded like they had the weird robot voice thing on him that they put on people in drug busts.
What? Oh, I know what they're talking about. Hello, my name is Kenneth, and I'm here to tell you to not do drugs. Kind of like that?
Yeah.
He was pretty mumbly.
I don't know what to make of that.
I wouldn't have thought
Brittany
to say
and Kenneth
that.
did not get a lot of airtime, but they didn't have a lot of drama. They kind of resolved their shit in peace and they went their separate ways. So.
Well, they also didn't do anything.
They didn't really do much.
And like, can we talk about Kenneth's house?
Which had like what, like...
It had maybe like one like package of like bologna and a half a gallon of milk in there in his whole fridge, and he's got this whole house that he just like barely lives in. Like, what's the point of that? Every time they showed them commiserating in any meaningful capacity when he's not on his phone, which he said is like, I'm really involved with the students at my school and stuff, and the parents.
But what's happening after school hours that you need to be on your phone at night when you should be with your fiance?
Or like, what are you so involved with that you can then also take however many weeks, like 6 weeks off to do a Netflix show? Yeah, it sounds like really meaningful work, man.
Yeah, you gotta have something else going on.
No, I was looking for a picture of her in a dolphin costume. Like, okay, how long does that take?
Wait, what does that even mean?
What was it? It was like viewer comments about he's either like playing Candy Crush or looking at pictures of dolphins.
I think that was a joke because of the only scene that they showed them, like, of them on their honeymoon was they had nothing to say until they saw some dolphins, and then he, like, had, he had a lot to talk about with dolphins for some reason.
That like his spirit animal or something?
I don't know. I mean, that could have been an editing choice, though, honestly, because they knew, I mean, at the time the show aired, they knew that Kenneth and her were going to break up.
Oh, okay.
So they chose to show only the awkward silent moments between them.
Okay.
So they showed a bunch of awkward silent moments, and then like they got talking about dolphins.
That makes sense.
So they just made it weird.
But just to give them like, oh hey, we didn't see Kenneth and Brittany on the show, like on this episode at all. Once they had to give him something. So let's throw the dolphins bit in.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to handle their shit pretty well. There just isn't a lot to, like, really analyze with them because they didn't do anything shitty to each other.
No, but it's weird that they're, like, text every day friends after the fact, don't you think? I get that there was some closeness that could have been fostered between them, but every day? Like, and I mean, they didn't do anything.
They clearly had a connection.
It's nice that they don't have any bells that they can't unring between them.
So if we go with Brittany's perspective, she said, like, they had a lot in common. They had the values and the religion and everything, but there wasn't that crave, as Brittany put it. Or what is it Brittany? Yeah. Brittany, okay. Yeah, there wasn't the crave. So they didn't have that sexual chemistry.
Okay.
Did have a lot in common and they got really close. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense that they're friends.
Well, okay. I mean, there's a whole lot that we don't know because didn't you tell me that it was he called somebody on the show after they broke up and it was like really upset about it after being completely nonchalant about it during?
Oh, he called Clay.
Oh, he called Clay. That's right. Just like bawling his eyes out.
Supposedly.
Okay. He has a weird way of showing things, but again, you're only 26. Like, you're not fully developed yet.
Yeah, I just don't think we have really that much information about them.
Okay. Well, who's next?
Well,
thank you for writing in, anonymous viewer.
Yeah, well, let's talk about what didn't get talked about.
Okay.
Which was any of the Jimmy and Chelsea drama.
Oh my gosh. They let them all the way off the hook for that.
They really, really did. They really did.
Not one person in their misfit group of ex-show contestants / successful marriage stories asked Jimmy what he meant by, I do love you. What? I do love you.
Or even when they first met in person and he was
and
just
his
like...
face just like, oh.
Yeah, and he said, I think you lied about some things. I think you lied to me about some stuff.
Nick and Vanessa aren't going to touch that.
They did ask Chelsea, like, what did you mean about the I look like Megan Fox? And she was like, yeah, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, it was a stupid
whatever
thing
she
to say.
said.
It's like, I didn't, like, actually mean it. But, like, how's Jimmy supposed to know?
Yeah, they didn't really address, like, Jimmy, did you ever actually like her?
I did like her.
He would have said
that. That's what he would have said.
He would have said that. And maybe that's why they didn't address it. There's just like not a lot to address. They addressed the last conflict between them, which was what Chelsea said about his friend.
Yeah. And well, okay. So she came out like apologies ready to go. And it really looked like, I mean, they were sitting next to each other. So it looked like they had done some actual like heart to hearts off the show. Yeah, so it looked like they were good. And, like, it's a reunion show. I don't know why you wouldn't dig up all the sensitive issues. But, I don't know. Maybe Nick was feeling generous and just wanted to channel all that at Jeremy and Sarah Ann. All the vitriol. Even though, I mean, Jimmy and Chelsea got, they got so much screen time.
I know. They were the biggest drama of the season, and they got no reunion time whatsoever.
Yeah. Or, like, even questions, like, meaningful questions about, like, Dear Jimmy, no one thinks that you were actually attracted to her, which, arguably doesn't matter. But, like, you really made her super insecure because you wouldn't give her any confirmations about how you felt about her because of how she looked. And everyone can see it.
Yeah.
When your first line to her is, oh, I think you lied about some things. Come on, man. Like, at that point, yes, looks can factor into it.
Yeah.
Which is, fine. That's, that's how eyes work. But, oh my gosh, the dude was so non-committal to anything with her and always had an excuse for why he wasn't affecting on her.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like,
and that's what made her crazy.
okay, yeah, like he wasn't attracted to her. It's an awkward situation for him, whatever. I mean, like, at least that's our perception, right? Maybe he was into her to enough degree to keep going with it, whatever.
Yeah.
But she could definitely pick up on he wasn't fully invested. He wasn't fully there. So she was continuously insecure about it.
Well, that's why he called her clingy.
That's why he called her clingy. That's why he was like, I need a break from sex. That's why she was insecure. That's why she kept needing reassurance, et cetera, et cetera. And he never admitted it.
No.
Which just makes her seem like a crazy person.
Yeah. How could he have admitted, though? There was no good way for him to do it before it was too late. And so he chose to wait until the very last minute.
No, and he pinned it on, like, the way she had that last argument with him.
Even if that was the issue, again, like we said last episode, you waited way too long. But that could have just been something easy for him to go to. I think it was. I think he never was going to marry her regardless of that argument. I think he was never going to actually say yes. Yeah, it wasn't like it was not as bad as AD's experience, but it was not that far off. Okay. So AD and Clay. Right. But I feel like we need to address the advantage you have right now. What's the advantage? Sobriety. Oh, well, it's pretty great. I'm not going to lie. Sobriety and superiority. No. When some of us... Superiority? Some of us need a little cushion for reality. It's really not that bad. Did I just show my privilege? You did. Oh, dear. You really did. I'm a really toxic person and I need therapy then. I mean, you don't need therapy. Well, you do, but like... Everybody does. You do need therapy, but like the issue is... Well, it's not an issue. It's just let's recognize privilege. Tell me, why don't you... I'll be the therapist, how about? Why don't you tell me how you really feel? Thank God, I need a break from that. Thank God someone else is the therapist for a minute. I see. Well, how does that make you feel? Why don't we start with a relationship with your mother? I see, so you're feeling exhausted. Okay, whatever. I'm sensing some hostility. You want to talk about AD and Clay? Let's talk about AD and Clay. Okay. See, we do this because we don't want to address our own issues. Sorry. Your vibrate is on. I'm sorry. I'm talking about our show. I'm helping us. And you're not recognizing that. Do we have any more viewer questions before we get on to AD and Clay? This is a train wreck. Un momento. Okay. What do we got? Regarding pick-me's. Okay, we got another viewer question. Okay, so I said Sarah Ann is a pick-me, but we've all been there. Unknown viewer. Number 2. I don't entirely know what this whole thing is, so maybe speaking out of turn, but like all of them are? At least the ones that got picked. The ones without airtime, or like Amber, who didn't get airtime and then also left because she realized shit was insane. Those girls are probably chill. Well, I don't have time to explain to this viewer what a pick-me is. That would be a whole other podcast. Oh, gosh. There are seminars for that. There are seminars for that, and some of them ruined my life, but... Looking at you, FDS. Yeah. Oh, hold on. We are getting flooded with viewer questions. The pause is what I mean. Right, okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we're all pick-me's at heart. Even guys are pick-me's. She said no one wants to be on the show and be left in the pause, is what I mean. Well, okay, then that's what fair. It's... Yeah. And that's why it's a game show / reality TV, is that you can't have everything go as it naturally would. We all do want to be picked. That's fair. Yeah, because you want to be on Netflix. That's fair. I think it's like, what will you sacrifice internally to get picked? I think that's what a true pick-me is, right? Like, will you abandon yourself and all your friends to get picked? Right. And any integrity that you have or conviction about like self-preservation. Just to get the guy with the broccoli haircut who makes you empty promises. It's a battle of wills, though, right? Because it's like, do I want to get the guy and have my happily ever after, or do I want to stand by my values? Well, if those are the two options, I can see why you do drink. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, goodness. Yeah, you know what? I now have a new appreciation and respect for all the pick-me's out there, which I used to be. I mean, and might still be without you, babe. Well, let's not find that out. Well, right, but I'm just saying, just that was an ironic babe, for the record. Just because I got lucky with finding the best one doesn't mean I'm exempt from the trap of the pick-me. I just got lucky. I'm not better than anybody else. And that's what we call checking your privilege here at the show. And you're a pick-me too, aren't you, hon? Am I? Oh, you kind of are. Oh, no. As far as boy pick-me is, you're definitely a pick-me. Do tell. I mean, for a man, it's kind of an attractive trait. We're all waiting with a bated breath for you to elaborate.
You're like Dom on Perfect Match.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say Dom Mazzetti.
Well, you're kind of like him too, but in a different way.
Thank you. Go on.
Just that you are the romantic. You're going to go all in. You're going to lay it all down, even for the girl who maybe doesn't deserve it.
Okay, I can see that.
You've definitely been the Dom to Francesca before. I know this about you.
Oh, goodness. Yes, I've been in many a tear shed of issues that were big to me and nothing to someone else. So.
You have been the I love you to the girl who's just using you to stay on the show.
Yeah. Well, thanks for rubbing it in.
As have I. Like, you know what my first marriage was like.
Oh, gosh, it was a disaster.
None of us are above this. That's all
Side
I'm
note,
saying.
Don't date anybody in the military.
If you have been privileged enough to have high self-esteem, you don't have yourself to thank for that. No. That's all I'm saying.
Go back to middle school, get bullied, get humbled, and just, there's a line, there's a spectrum between growing up under the staircase in your aunt and uncle's house as an orphan.
Thank you for bringing Harry Potter into this.
Oh, that's who it was. And living in the lap of luxury where everything is taken care of for you and the hardest part of your day is which color Bugatti do you want to drive. So, I mean, honestly, can we aside to Harry Potter for a second? Because he was way too well adjusted. For everything that he went through up through age 11, and then he finds out, oh, you're a wizard, Harry. I'm a what? No, you are traumatized, child. Come to St. Mungo's.
Thank you. This is very off topic, though.
That's okay. Aidy and Clay, action.
All right, cool. So now that we're caught up, are we talking about Aidy and Clay?
We're talking about Aidy and Clay.
Trying to talk about them for 10 minutes.
Oh, this has gone off the rails.
I'm sorry. This is what happens when you're ADHD and I have had 2 drinks.
And we're both self-indulgent to the other person.
Okay.
Okay, very good. So Aidy and Clay. Jinx.
Apologies.
That's so no. We come for the information. We stay for the laughs.
We stay for the humor. We're pretty funny, I think, maybe.
We were on the first episode.
I mean, we think we're funny. We're funnier than the random dude group.
All right, guys. Today we're talking about feminism.
We're going to talk about abortion.
We're going to talk about.
We're going to talk about women's rights. What the hell do women have to say anyway?
Honestly, I don't know why they're so upset.
I mean, trans people, like, are you kidding me?
Okay, let's stop it there. Are you kidding me? Just, pick, bro.
Just pick a pronoun.
I'm all for, respect or whatever, but... Okay, whatever. Aidy and Clay.
We're also white, so we don't really know anything.
Oh, they know that.
Yeah, they probably know that. We're kind of lame. We're funny.
Welcome back to the Two White Kids podcast. Today we're talking about perspective and how we don't have any.
This is the thing with you.
Go on.
You have to realize that you're an adult man.
I'm Peter Pan.
Oh, they were going to say Peter Pettigrew. I mean, I'd rather you be Peter Pan than Peter Pettigrew. No. You're an adult man if you want to be a man. I mean, I don't like the word, but that's another podcast. But that's an adult thing, not a gender thing, right? Okay, adult human male is about as close as I'll poke with that stick. I'm an adult human feline. Meow. Anyway, Aidy and Clay. Aidy and Clay. Why can't we? Good night, everybody. Wait, okay, you start. I'm distracted. Okay, Aidy and Clay. We're both ADD, but I'm drinking. That's okay. You are the only ADD person I've ever actually met, though, by the way. Everyone thinks they have ADHD now. Oh, yeah, because it's cool. You actually do. I didn't believe in ADHD till I met you. Thank you. But this is another podcast. Aidy and Clay. Aidy and Clay. It looks like they had patched things up for the most part. They seem to be on good terms anyway. Good terms. She still seemed a little about it. She definitely don't want to date him. Yeah. I mean, fair enough. Yeah, okay, so weren't they asked that? When it was like, Clay, would you ever get back together with her? And he said, oh, yeah, in a heartbeat. He was like, 100%. And she's like... Do we believe he actually would be with her? Or is he just trying to save face? I think, it certainly sounds like a right answer. It's a right answer, whether or not he means it. I don't know if he... Like we said in the first one, he's not evil. He's just a dummy. I don't think he's evil, but is he serious? No. That's why he said he got to go to therapy and got to, get... Or, just get all his dating around on the therapy train. But... When do I get to be a celebrity therapist? Because, oh my God. Oh, that'd be a lot easier. Nick Lachey, if you're watching, she's definitely available. Can I please? And skilled. Can I please be the reality show therapist? I would fucking love that. That sounds like a walk in the park compared to what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, which is community mental health. Let's not make any bones about it. It's the worst thing you could be doing.
I mean, well, we don't want to get into that.
Well, it just seems like if you're the on-staff clinician for the reality TV show, it seems like that's a lateral...
There's some privilege there that is workable.
That is, but it just seems like a lateral move to Yahoo Answers relationships questions.
Wait, why?
Because it's kind of obvious stuff, don't you think? Unless it's like a nervous breakdown, which you are qualified to handle.
But you're in the public eye, which means like the way these people act is going to be on you at some level.
I don't think anyone has dragged the on-site psychologist through the mud on anything.
I mean, who knows if there is one?
Oh, there's gotta be.
You think so?
Wasn't there for sure one confirmed on Love Island?
I don't know.
I think there was.
I mean, in the show Unreal,
there's
which you didn't
definitely
watch,
a mediator.
I watched this show when I was unemployed for a while.
Okay.
The show Unreal, which makes fun of, I mean, doesn't make fun of, but like tries to show a side of reality TV, like in a fictional way. It's more like behind the scenes. It's behind the scenes reality TV, but in a fictional way.
Right.
But there's a therapist on that show.
Okay.
And pretty useless.
Well, we're dealing with people who have never checked in before. I don't know what CBT and MI can do for...
I knew you were going to say CBT and MI. Fair enough.
It just, I mean, the situations and situationships on these shows just seem so trivial.
God, it would be so fun to work with these people.
I know, but it's just so like, would it be hard to take them seriously? It's like, he clearly doesn't like you. What are you doing?
No. Like, from what I've seen on these shows, I think there's some stuff to work with here.
Okay.
I think it'll be fun.
Okay.
And I think anything would be easier than what I'm doing right now.
Well, shout out to Nick Lachey for sponsoring this episode.
I feel like behind closed doors, Nick Lachey is just a money-hungry, drama-fueled, like, doesn't give a shit about people kind of person.
Yeah, that's why he rose through the ranks
But because he's married, like, somehow that gives him clout.
It gives him a nice, image, I suppose. Right. Especially if they're hosting, like, the marriage and relationship shows. It's like, oh, here's a guy who's got it all figured out.
Come on. I don't think anybody could act like Perfect Match is a show to actually meet your soulmate.
When it's just the rejects from the other shows.
When it's literally, they pick people who are already famous to be on a show to like literally tooth and nail fight each other every night for someone that will have them for one night.
To fight for and lie to each other for one night.
It's ridiculous.
And then it's the same thing the next day.
It is ridiculous.
And that's supposed to prove something.
What is it proving? It's nothing. It's just entertainment.
Well, yeah, because like right now, who's the best couple?
Oh, it's Joey from The Circle, and he's got
Carousel.
Joey and Carousel, and he went off and got famous, and now he's really acting like he's, I'm Joey, I'm Mr. Top Shot guy.
I do not buy Joey's shit for a second. I do think Carousel would be with him for any length of time he accepts it.
Right, but they came in with an on-again, off-again history outside of the show.
Right.
And if they're the best match right now, we're halfway through. What's being said here, Nick? Clay and AD.
Yeah, I think we kind of covered them. I mean, AD is standing strong on her, like, I'm not going to date you again.
Yeah, she gave a big pause when she was asked the same question. And she really stuck to herself.
She knows. Good for her. I mean, she always has. She does see Clay's genuineness. She has a lot of feelings for him, but she does see through his bullshit, and I really respect that. I'm sure she's got her DMs full.
Oh, sure.
And good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, who else?
She's good.
We talked about Jimmy.
We talked about Jimmy and Chelsea.
I do love you.
Oh, all of the rando couples they brought on to just ask questions.
What was up with that?
To prove that this Love is Blind format works.
Love is Blind. Here's a success story.
Got some successes.
One from each season.
Yeah.
Because how many people do they have on? They have like 30 people in the pods that they cycle through.
Yeah, something like
I think it's something, it's a
maybe
big number.
15 women, 15 men.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But when are they going to have a queer Love is Blind? Because, oh my God, I will watch that in a heartbeat. Does everyone have their own private room? Do they date everybody?
Oh, that sounds like it would take like twice as long to shoot. Because everyone would have to date everybody.
Super hot.
Okay, who's left? It should just be Amy and Johnny. Was that them?
They're still together, like we thought.
Yeah,
right?
Boring.
We predicted that.
They didn't get to say a single word.
Good for them. But this is why, and this is how masochistic we are.
Go on.
as viewers.
Oh, I thought you meant us personally.
I mean, us personally as well. We're
Okay.
bored by the ones who actually have a relationship and work out.
Well, yeah, but if we
We need
wanted
to
to watch that, we'd go to the Happy Relationship channel, not Disasterville on Netflix.
We get so mad at the villains of the show, but then when the people are actually being decent people who are communicating and in love, we're just like bored.
Well, that's not what we watch for.
I know, but
I don't know if it's
this
a-
is why Nick Lachey does what he does. It's for people like you and me.
Yeah, but I don't want to give him that much credit that he's playing or he's preying on masochism. It just seems
Everyone is who is not preying on masochism.
like me, as she looks at me with skeptical side eyes. I mean, I
That's a
wouldn't.
topic for another day.
It just seems like more. It's like, yes, it's entertaining. I don't know if I would say it's akin to self-flogging.
Who doesn't love a good self-flogging?
Oh gosh, time and a place. If you're still doing it by,
Is there a limit on self-flogging?
I just mean if you're still doing it by 30, I guess.
Hey,
I just mean and if you haven't learned anything from it, you're doing something wrong. Because I am all for the wallow. Don't get me wrong.
the what?
The wallow.
Oh, the wallow. I thought
Yeah.
you said the lalo.
The Lalo? No, that's another Breaking Bad reference. That was Better Call Saul, but
Okay.
all for the Lalo. No, you don't want to get mixed up with that guy. What?
What's lalo?
He's like, oh my gosh, what's Lalo? It's a shorthand name for Eduardo. But this dude in Eduardo. Oh my gosh, he's probably the best written psychopath, just ruthless villain of the show that I've ever encountered in any exploration of fiction.
Okay.
Just the way that he's written and how he just does everything with this enormous smile on his face. And the actor they got to play him was really great. It's
he's a
Vince Gilligan,
sociopath?
so he's off the deep end. He is downright evil to the core, and just the lengths that he goes to for character development is great.
Okay.
But anyway,
Well, we're at almost an hour. here.
yeah, we're at almost an hour. Again, nothing to say about Jimmy. What's his name?
Jeremy?
Jeremy. What's the?
Trevor?
Who are we just talking about?
Kenneth? I don't know.
Amy and
Johnny.
Johnny. Yeah, nothing to say about them.
No, he's fine.
Wish him well. Whatever.
Johnny and Amy, more
They got
power
asked
to
the birth
you.
control question. That was kind of the only thing to ask
Okay,
them.
this is the one thing I have to say to them.
Let's hear it.
What did you decide? What did you figure out? Because Johnny was asked, what about condoms? And he was like, don't worry, y'all. We figured it out. And I'm just like, no, but really, what did y'all decide to do? If you're not doing birth control, you're not doing a vasectomy, you're not doing condoms, what is it? Do you guys know something none of us know?
I don't think that's the case.
What do you think they picked?
I don't know what they picked, but if it was something new, they'd have patented it, and we would have found out.
I'm just, share the information. That's all I'm saying. Anyway,
Anyway,
masochism? Is that what we were on?
we tabled that
We're
for a
wrapping
different
up
discussion.
a different discussion. Got it.
Yeah. So yeah. Long story short, Nick Lachey is
Reunion,
evil.
stupid.
The reunion was stupid.
Nothing really new.
Nothing
we just kind of
happened.
cut up all day,
Yeah.
all episode. We just kind of, sheets to the wind.
Sheets to the wind, and that's an onion in the patch.
That's an onion in the patch. It's a wrap.
Well, let's cue an outro then.
Da 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 da.
No, not that.
Okay, what's the outro?
We don't have to sing the song. I wrote it, and it's about to go here.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Good night. Remember,
Write in, if you think
write
we're
in
funny,
viewer questions. Let us
ask
in the
us
comments.
what you want to talk about. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we will talk about anything,
Good night.
in this format. So don't subscribe, don't hit the bell button, don't send us friend requests. Y'all know who it is. It's the crew. We
Mr.
out.
Fox and Elsie.
Mr. Fox and LC, at
And
least
Lucy,
for this
yeah.
episode. And Lucy, who's been watching us in the corner and who won't come sit on the nice couch with us.
Bye.
Bye.